In medieval Europe, witch hunts often arose in connection to charges of heresy from Christianity. An intensive period of witch hunts occurring in early modern Europe and to a smaller extent colonial America took place from about 1450 to 1750, spanning the upheavals of the Counter-Reformation and the 30 Years' War, resulting in an estimated 35,000 to 60,000 executions, most of which were women. The last executions of people convicted as witches in Europe took place in the 18th century. In today's video, we are going to look at the witch hunt of one particular girl called Joan of Arc. In the small village of Domremy, nestled in the lush countryside of France, a child was born in 1412, destined to shape the course of history. Joan of Arc, a peasant girl, came into the world in a modest farming family. Her father, Jacques d'Arc, was an influential figure in the village, a man respected for his wisdom and leadership. Yet, Joan's life would veer far from the quiet simplicity of farm life, leading her instead to fire, sword, and sainthood. By the time Joan turned 13 in 1425, the 100 Years' War, a protracted conflict between England and France, had ravaged the land. Her village experienced the horrors firsthand when British soldiers raided Domremy, stealing livestock and leaving destruction in their wake. It was during this turbulent time that Joan experienced her first vision. As she tended to her chores, she claimed to see Saint Michael, Saint Catherine, and Saint Margaret, who told her that she was chosen by God to save France. A prophecy circulating in France at the time spoke of an armed virgin who would lead the country to salvation. Joan believed she was that maiden. Though still a child, she began speaking openly of her divine mission, drawing both awe and skepticism from those around her. In 1429, at just 17 years old, Joan's resolve solidified. Cutting her hair and donning men's clothing to blend into the male-dominated military ranks, she sought an audience with Charles VII, the uncrowned Dauphin of France. Her courage and conviction impressed the war-weary prince, and she was granted command of a small contingent of troops. With Joan at the helm, the French forces launched a campaign to liberate the besieged city of Orleans. Joan's presence proved transformative. Her unwavering faith and rousing speeches invigorated the demoralized soldiers and inspired the townsfolk. Within days, the siege was broken, a miraculous victory that many attributed to divine intervention. Joan became a beacon of hope, a living symbol of resistance against English domination. Bolstered by her success, Joan accompanied Charles VII to Reims, where he was crowned king. However, her prominence at court waned after a failed attempt to capture Paris later that year. Political intrigues and jealousy among the nobility rendered her increasingly isolated. In 1430, Joan's fate took a dark turn. Captured by the Burgundian forces, French allies of the English, she was sold to her enemies for a hefty sum. Imprisoned, Joan made several daring attempts to escape but was ultimately recaptured. Her captors handed her over to the English, who sought to discredit her by any means necessary. In 1431, Joan was put on trial for heresy and blasphemy. The proceedings were far from fair. The tribunal, under pressure from the English, sought to portray her visions as demonic and her military attire as sinful. Joan defended herself with remarkable clarity, even without legal representation. Yet the outcome was predetermined. Condemned as a heretic, Joan was sentenced to death. On May 30, 1431, she was led to the marketplace of Rouen, where a wooden pillar awaited her. Tied to the stake, Joan prayed aloud, her voice steady even as the flames rose around her. At just 19 years old, the girl who had been a savior to France was burned alive by the very church she had served faithfully. Her ashes were cast into the Seine River to prevent the collection of relics. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked this video and want us to do more such videos on the witch hunts in Europe, do let us know in the comments section below. Do like, share and subscribe for more such content on this channel.